We had a huge front blow in, so don't mind me if I mute myself to hack and cough horribly. I'm doing fine. It's just we have a giant sycamore tree in our backyard, okay? And it just dumps pollen on us anytime. Literally anytime the wind changes. It's just the worst, but it's such a beautiful tree. It's amazing. So, you know, you take the good with the bad. But yeah, we're freaking finishing this game today. Because I want to move on to the next Phoenix Wright or to the next visual novel I want to do. Hey, Doc, good to see ya. We're just doing it today. We're getting her done. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to the trial because they're suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is? You're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. All right, well, let's see. I don't know that Maya necessarily count. She didn't help a whole lot on a couple of those. Pardon the cough. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Still got the intro song stuck in my head. I love that song. Listen to Lucy Kaplansky. She does a lot of good songs.
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor.
Edgeworth. What a dick. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial.
I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. The chief prosecutor, Lana Sky, has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it on in the prosecutor's office lot.
Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything.
However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand.
The cough-up queen?
Haven't I seen you somewhere?
You ordered the caviar lunch, right?
Caviar! I've never eaten caviar before.
Oh, the judge is really wolfing it down. A Fiesta Bowl? What the fuck is this Fiesta? It's just like Uncle Ben's. And for you, I have a Fiesta Bowl. I can't even keep a straight face talking as her. Thanks.
Will the witness state her name and profession?
Ah, thank you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox?
It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please.
Well, Your Honor, how does it taste?
So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like a pickled tapioca.
What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like?
Name, profession, now.
Me? The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't think this song is played in the courtroom yet. That's kind of hilarious.
Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating.
Well, hurry it up.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know.
I'm gonna just a second. Yep. We're good.
We usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime.
Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional.
What exactly does that mean?
I don't think the judge has been around the block too many times. That or they're less strict on certain crimes than others.
Until 2 years ago, Mrs. Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective.
What? Miss Star was a detective?
I know who you are. Cough up. Cough up.
Oh. Cough up Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see. Okay. Yeah, this cough up business, professional business, I don't like it one bit, folks.
You may continue with the description, Mister.
Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. Alright. Here we go. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. Oh, it wasn't a block, it was B block. Oh, I'm stupid. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutors' spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor. Alright, we got them floor plans.
Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright.
I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, give them your worst, mister.
Wait, are they talking about me? Alright, bitch. Tell me what happened. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bring a lunchbox to your boyfriend. Ah, how touching! As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright.
Anyway, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Yes. Yes. Mr. Wright, you can cross-examine the people. For you.
He's slowly turning into Bane, and I really can't stop it. How do you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy.
The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted.
Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Mr. Well.
This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend, you have several.
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot, in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there.
That would be the room with the security sign.
Incidentally, did you bring your boxed lunches by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective. You sensed something, so you're saying you had a premonition of the murder. It felt like, how would you say? Oh yes, it was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I have no idea what that means.
I don't either, buddy. Me either.
Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective?
Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
Young cheese?
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn.
And I must be hard yellowed and sharp as a tack.
Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind.
By garish car, you mean?
Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Oh, geez, she just said it.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Incidentally, the knife which the victim was stabbed with which the victim was stabbed, was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it?
Indeed, it was.
She's volunteering tons of information. She's a bad witness.
In odd cases, and the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her.
If she's telling the truth, we're doomed.
Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick.
Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Let's say hypothetically, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness.
You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie.
Huh? Rookie?
Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. Oh, Chewit, what is she talking about?
That was inspiring.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
A photograph? You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over, and snap! I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunch boxes is rigged with a camera.
I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now?
You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Uh-oh. That is unmistakably Lana Skye. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying.
Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all.
Yes, that's about right.
Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set.
You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean a person.
Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor.
So the defendant was holding a knife. What then?
Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. It's only flesh wound. Oh, shoot. You said that before, and I thought the dialogue was just repeating. Well, scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless.
Sounds pretty fatal to me.
What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty?
Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer.
Don't smile like that.
Well, I gotta press. At the end of it. I forgot to do the
Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point.
Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late.
Too late?
Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon.
I see.
Oh, great. Well, that didn't give me any information at all. All right. Well, let's see. What do we got? We have Goodman's ID, this trophy, the knife, no prints. Is there any checking to do? This must be the victim's blood, right?
Either that or Edgeworth cut himself peeling an apple.
What's Edgeworth doing with a knife like this anyway? Hey, maybe he spends his weekends roughing it in the wild.
Edgeworth? In the wild? I think my fruit peeling theory is more likely.
Are you kidding? I always pictured him as an outdoorsman.
No, there's a scary thought.
Okay, nothing. I realized I probably should have checked this shit before. But, you know, whatever. It's not like we don't have all the time in the freaking world.
Miles Edgeworth, 1712.
Ah, hey, Tiara.
This is dated the day of the crime.
The murder took place 3 minutes after Edgeworth parked his car. If only he was held up at a couple extra red lights, he wouldn't have been caught up in this whole affair.
Perhaps.
It just goes to show you never know what'll happen when you run a late yellow light.
Okay. Well, this isn't really very helpful. I guess examining things is better than not. One knife wound. Single stab wound was found. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. So I'm confused. So there's the chain fence, I guess. I guess theoretically there's somewhere to open it, but I don't see it. Let's check out this. So where'd the knife go? She's got gloves on, obviously, so no prints. This is very confusing. Yeah, Tiara, we're in the thick of it. Deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finally old detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car, Edgeworth. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Well, shit. This is no fucking good. I'm saving, because I don't know, man. Yeah, you already said that. No, this isn't really helpful. Blah, blah. She just talks so much. One second. Oh, sorry. I had a cough. Okay, so I don't know. Any ideas? All we've got is this badge, which was super far away. Let's look at that photo again. Yeah, that's clearly through the wire fence. I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to press her on. I'm just gonna, in a second. I don't know. Sorry, I'm coughing all the time. It's kind of crazy. You missed it, Tiara. I was talking about the horrible wind that was blowing like all yesterday, and the sycamore tree just dumping pollen on everybody. So we have this giant sycamore tree, but I guess she's not holding the knife in the picture, is she? I feel like that's pretty flimsy, but she's not literally holding the knife. But yeah, it's been rough, but I want to do a freaking stream because I was down and out like half of this week. So we're doing it. We're soldiering through. Also, it worked. You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife. Like the victim isn't in the picture either, technically. I've already said yes. I swear on my finest salmon swirl lunch.
I'm sure that is a fine lunch.
But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph.
You made the joke in your head, I don't have to.
This is the photograph you took at the very important moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife?
Here, Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your feeble than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing.
And how can you tell that? Because she's got blood on her. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Huh?
See the dark crimson stains on this chief prosecutor's coat? Yeah, she clearly already did it.
But it's a black and white photograph.
Yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here.
No problem, except you. Nah. Mr. Wright, are you just gonna sit there and take that kind of abuse?
You got a better idea?
Sure, whatever, I'm objecting.
Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime.
Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies.
That's it?
If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. And if you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder.
Premeditated? How do you know?
Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph.
Well, are those gloves?
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely.
Why would she have those on? It's impossible to tell if they're surgical gloves. They look like leather gloves, like the kind you normally wear with a fancy outfit. Shut up, Edgeworth.
If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves.
These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder, a serious offense.
Witness, I missed your testimony.
Yeah, jeez. Rubber?
What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves?
Yeah.
The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies.
In other words, when the chief prosecutor came into the crime scene, she came to do a murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Ugh.
Very impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Star.
This is bad. She's got him thinking this was all planned.
If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated.
Yeah, sure, whatever. You already said that. I don't want to hear it. Loss of blood. A single wound. The phone. The phone! It's gotta be the phone, right? Let's just check. I don't see anything here. No, I'll see nothing. I'm saying it's the phone. I mean, wait. Go back.
Your Honor, what do you think about the
witness's statement?
I'm not sure I follow.
It clear. Come on, she called her. Well, what proves it wasn't? This is Edgeworth's knife, usually in Edgeworth's toolbox. Goodman's ID, which was over. Name and ID number written here. Sergeant Bruce Goodman. Wonder why they only use numbers. What else would they use? Letters. Bruce Goodman, ID Yabba Dab. See, wouldn't it be better? This guy, this is not helping. I don't see this helping. I don't know. Oh, I clicked on this accidentally while I was coughing. Sorry. All right, let's see. Usually in Edgeworth's toolbox. That doesn't make sense. Like, that seemed like a useless detail to include unless it contradicts this. Because, like, why would she have Edgeworth's knife? Because it was in his toolbox. Like, she would have brought a weapon. Like, why would she? I think that's right. That makes sense to me. Yeah, the music stopped. That's a good sign. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell lunch boxes for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was used in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk.
Indeed, it is my knife.
What's with this case? Oh, the bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belong to the prosecutor there. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Want me to prosecute bad people?
The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony.
What's that, rookie?
In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon.
Oh.
This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're gonna plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon.
Order!
Great. Now the tide is turning in our favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free.
Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail.
But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory.
Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not.
That's very important. It's incredibly important, whether it was or not. Hey, Isaac. How you doing?
The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife.
It's okay, dude. You're busy and that's just fine.
That is the only thing the prosecution need to prove. That is the only thing the prosecution need to prove. Nothing else.
Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned! And if it wasn't, why would she have been wearing...
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again.
Yes, absolutely. We will do that. Maybe even tomorrow. I mean, it's Sunday. We could always do it Sunday evening or next weekend or whenever. Eventually, at some point, I will do a Con Air stream because Amazon lets you do watch parties with Twitch and Prime, and that's a whole exciting thing. So that will be on the docket. Don't you worry.
Witness, please tell us what you saw, not what you thought.
How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated.
Really now?
Okay.
Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again.
Okay. Well,
The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
sorry, I'm mixing my British voices up. What day is it? Ooh, we could do it on 10/25 for the meme. That'd be pretty funny.
You've said that, but you haven't told us how you know.
That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie.
I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she is about to tell.
Oh, if it gets too much for me, yeah, sure.
Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked.
Something's half-baked here, all right, and it's you. Try not to confuse the witness, the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim?
Her actions speak for themselves.
You have no proof that Miss Skye called him there.
And you have no proof that she didn't.
Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts?
There's no record of a call made on the defendant Miss Lana Skye's phone.
She might have written him a letter.
Come on, you could have tried on public phone at first, at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered.
I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness, why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day?
Why? This is, yeah, I thought we had like records that said she summoned him because people were saying she summoned him earlier too. But no, because there's nothing.
Well, I wouldn't know that.
Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge.
Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside?
How am I supposed to know?
See, we agree there's a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree?
I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty.
This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this?
It's simple. Nothing else could drive that human machine, blah, blah, blah.
I have to press her on it, obviously, for the dialogue.
That's a contradiction. Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright?
Note to self, Mr. Edgeworth's sighs smell like citrus fruit.
Jeez, girl. You got it bad.
You say again and again. How many times did she stab him, exactly?
We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces.
What difference does it make if this deed is done? How come she's getting mad at me?
Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that.
Leave it at that. This is a murder case, people.
Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know.
Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off.
The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact.
I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer.
Obviously, more scientific testing is required.
Well, this one's easy enough. The last ones were a little bit eh. I had to guess a couple times. But I mean, one knife wound. That's easy.
You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that.
Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise.
I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that the death was due to loss of blood from one stab wound.
You're right! Good sir, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk. He's my hero, really.
Yeah, that's mold.
What about my objection? No one noticed?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Fucking thanks a lot, Edgeworth.
Well, witness?
You got the crime scene set, right?
Thanks?
I always believed that no one would ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
Oh, you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Spattered blood from her victim. And that's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify!
Oh, so once again, I'm mixing it up.
Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole thing was.
Well, hold on. Her red muffler?
Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck, so she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose.
She's right. Miss Skye was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood?
Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib.
A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes.
Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest.
However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony.
Mr. Wright, this is our chance.
Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr has turned out to be blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah.
Alright. Let's see. Let's look at this thing here. She's not wearing it. Aha! What are you, stupid?
What's wrong with you, lady? Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
He's ganging up on her because she's such a dick about prosecutors.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or a muffler of any time when she stabbed the victim. And you proved it yourself with this photograph.
Huh? But that can't be!
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you've finally found your true calling in life.
Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails.
What was my objection? Chopped liver?
But it was there. A scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really?
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Edgeworth is really funny. I like how she insulted his car. She insulted his like red getup. And she insulted like prosecutors in general. So no wonder he's pissed.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony.
The most important part?
The part where she perjured herself.
The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth.
She read the script.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel's Star, resistance is futile.
You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel's Star.
I wonder if she read the script.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra's a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks.
Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum? Hard to imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman.
What do you think? Did she look like a person who can roll her tongue? Like, I don't think she can. I don't think she can roll her tongue. I think it's, or even worse, just row. Like, that's the bottom of the barrel, is not even rolling your tongue. You go, or, but like, like that's the worst. You might as well not even do it at that point.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will.
Apprehending the suspect.
Bum, 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 bum.
Ugh, I have to go to the restroom. Very professional. It's fine.
I've been drinking lots of water today and taking like allergy medicine to try and keep my voice good for exactly this. But of course that comes with consequences. There we go. Da-da-da-da. After the murder, blah blah blah, Q.
So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high.
She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And there's no security camera in this. Like, the security wasn't there. I don't know.
And what did you do then? You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect?
As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time.
Maybe I should press her for more details. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe.
Yeah, because I'm confused where you were too.
The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor. Thus, she was parked in B block. So, you witnessed the murder from here?
It was about 30 feet away from the car, yes.
Is that correct, Miss Starr?
Yes, that's right.
But there was a chain link fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
Amazing! The cough-up queen lunch lady athlete, indeed.
It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. I have Rich Evans' brain disease. Monstrous creatures. Folding table. So she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast.
Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too.
Yeah, I didn't even know if there was like room to get over.
So how did Miss Sky not get away?
Matt's extinguisher, fire extinguisher.
She mentioned the muffler. Well, what exactly did she say?
If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony.
Ah, cheeky.
Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler.
Oh, Tiara, I figured out what it was. I was more muffled on the Discord call last night because Discord was just reading the input from my microphone and not the input from Voice Meter. And Voice Meter soups up my audio a little bit. I thought it was weird too, but whatever. Thank you, Discord. At least I figured it out exactly. She said muffler.
Just that one word.
So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else?
Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone.
Her phone? She can't mean... By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene?
Yes, ultimately.
Ultimately?
My memory... It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see.
No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall?
That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall.
Apparently, it was out of order.
And so she used her cell phone.
Indeed. The emergency's phone was out of order that day.
Good witnessing, witness.
Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
You should, of course, add this to your testimony.
The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. The only things they ever The only things they do ever is call me a rookie when I say, shouldn't we follow the rules? All right, here's the rules actually. Should we follow them? I think we should follow them.
Now I just press her on that again. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court?
Aha, I was going to ask the same thing.
I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies.
Oh, good.
The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time,
you climbed over the chain link fence.
and then I boldly grabbed her arm. The chief prosecutor hung up her phone.
And you saw her doing this.
What is it, Mr. Wright?
What does he mean? He's like,
I guess that would be the floor plans, right? Whatever, I'm gonna get this press, but that sounded wrong. I'm gonna press this statement and then we'll try that.
she made to escape. Can you be more specific?
She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pate of foie gras.
Huh?
She even kicked over an oil drum at me.
An oil drum?
There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime.
But it's strange.
What's that?
If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way?
The parking lot entrance.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, why wouldn't she just run out? Why would she sit there and call the phone? That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries.
I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So Miss Sky tried to run.
I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright.
Not as sorry as I am.
And you're pretty sorry, Phoenix. But she didn't do it. You have to believe me.
And you saw it, right? All right. Says you. Yes! Miss Star, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias.
Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago.
You're not helping yourself, lady. Well, Miss Star, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this?
I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up.
Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the backside of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it.
Order! What is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about
saving in the middle of the thing. That's what she lied about.
Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Star to lie about it. Pointless to lie. I see. But say the witness actually did see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Star witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime?
All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place from where Miss Star witnessed the crime was here.
It's got to be the security room, right?
This is the only... No.
Okay, yeah.
The security guard room?
Indeed. The security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot.
She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There's so many other places you could have seen the phone.
Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in Block A. The only place where she could have seen the crime, and the back of the partition, is here. I remember in your testimony, you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Star...
How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think the tables could be turned. Today, a man has got the better of Angel Star.
Well, I mean, you're right.
Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails.
The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky?
Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Star lie? It doesn't make sense.
Huh?
She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything.
Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim.
What?
Yeah, that truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
Yeah, thank you, someone, for mentioning perjury for once in this game. Why are we mentioning it now? What about Lotta Hart? She lied. She super lied. And then there's all Yanni Yogi too. I mean, obviously these murderers lied, but you know what?
So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright.
Besides arresting Maya, I think. I don't even know.
Me?
Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know.
Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and she said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference. But what? What would that change?
The distance to the crime. Right? I mean, it would change the angle of view, obviously, but the distance also. She'd have to come down. It'd be a whole different thing. Plus, that photo doesn't make any sense. How could she have taken that photo? That's what I want to get to.
It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. Distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that could change how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky?
Well, witness?
Yes?
You ordered the squid wheels, right?
The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible.
I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it.
Well, that's a whole...
That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking in B block.
That's quite a detour.
Why would it be locked from the inside?
It probably took me 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes?
Yeah, this is a whole different...
This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defense's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention.
Yeah, she would have been like way out of there. Also, why wouldn't you take a picture from the guard station? Why was the guy not there? He's the security guard. Like, that dude's getting fired. Oh, stop giving him the caviar.
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
Do I have any evidence to stop this?
Yeah, sure I do.
5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make a pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente.
I've got a lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie.
A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time was different. Miss Sky dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable.
Inconceivable. The horrible pterodactyl scream.
Well then, it seems we've come to the end of the testimony. The witness had a grudge against the defendant and a Blake in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated the witness on account of her professional history.
We did it! We screwed that case shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close.
I'm afraid that the Coffat Queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned.
What?
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid. What? That's the order she tried to foist off on me.
I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say?
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that?
Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes?
My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr.
Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker!
Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony.
She loves it. She loves just giving him lunches. This is setting her back considerably. Surely, right?
Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What she's gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time? I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Yeah, I don't know how, so her hand is bandaged.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Fucking... Even this! Now, I can't... What's it called? It's not parody of evidence. But, you show each other all your evidence before you start the trial. And I've done this too. Phoenix does this too. He's also just presented surprise evidence. Like, oh, I gotcha. But this is... I don't understand. I'm losing it, you guys. And stuff gets approval. Yes, there's clearly a process. But now, because he doesn't like her, everyone suddenly remembers there's a law. Whatever.
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Even the second autopsy report. Exactly. The very first time this comes up. Ugh. I guess he just said it needs the approval of the police department, not necessarily the defense. So they can still keep secrets from me, but I can't keep secrets from them because they're the police department. I didn't register that extra bullet with the police department from the last case.
Nyeh. Nyeh.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, the shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth's looking pretty sullen.
Fuck. You could at least study some evidence law. Really? Someone could in this entire series.
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Yeah, you should have.
Why did you lie about those 5 minutes?
I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results.
The results?
How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing.
Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book.
This when the suspect is admitting she did it?
But the false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, mister. Let's just get this over with.
There sure is. And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime?
I detained the chief prosecutor, and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive.
So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe.
I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag. Really.
Jeez, Phoenix.
Really.
In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now, tell us what you did next.
2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. Oh shoot, I was just reading. She talks so fucking much. Let me see if I'm in the right place. Okay, so we're on number 3 now. It's hard to tell when her babbling ends and her actual testimony begins. At least when you're zoning out and not looking at the colors too hard.
So, you brought it to the forensics department.
If you're gonna submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert.
And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective.
I guess it's only forensic evidence that you have to do this for in this universe. But even still, the bullet I had was... You know what? You know what? Whatever.
The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed after all.
And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman.
As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. And the other blood type messed it.
You can't say for sure that the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. That's true.
You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie.
Huh?
Well, speak up.
Well, blood comes in 4 types: A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood.
That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means that we can more or less narrow down any sample of blood just to one person. Or so I hear. I don't think that's...
That's pretty specific.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I mean, you can do a DNA test, but those are also unreliable, especially on somebody's shoe. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten a DNA test. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Skies. What? Yeah, along with positive and negative. So they could have just said, oh, it's O negative and she's O negative. Like, that would have solved that. Whatever, I'm gonna pretend that's what they said, because that makes more sense. Because they could have been like, oh, you know, like 3 people are O negative. It's funny, my brother-in-law is O negative, and he gets harassed all the time, like, hey, do you want to give blood? Hey, do you want to give blood? Hey, do you want to give blood? And he's like, please, I can't all the time. I have to live my life. And he does when he can, but it's just funny to me. I also knew another guy. Funny, I known 2 people who were O negative, and the other guy also, who was a friend, a childhood friend from Texas, was like, yeah, it's on my birth certificate, but I've never given blood again because it must not be in the system here, because where he lived was not where he was born. And so he's like, yeah, I've never given blood because all they'll do is harass me about it. It's not happening.
So, the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe.
That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman.
I was afraid he was gonna say that. Oh yeah, and I mean, there are plenty of reasons you can't to not give blood, but
I can't let this evidence go through without a fight.
you ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe?
A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe?
Yeah, I think so. Let's check. Let's check the court record just to see if there's a problem with the victim's shoe. This blood, it's my sister's, right? It appears so. Lana's hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime. But when exactly? No, nothing in there. Ah, there's blood here too!
On the sole of the shoe? It's gotta be the victim's.
He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood. All this blood, it's horrible.
This blood might be an important clue.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought there was some bullshit going on. And we haven't really had to use this yet for an investigation thing. Yeah, there's a problem. Let's see. So her hands aren't cut in this, and she already has put the knife away. Like, or else the gloves would have been ripped, right? Also, where are these gloves? Why are the gloves not in the court record? They were admitted as evidence. Whatever. There is a problem. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Here's the problem with the evidence.
It's on the bottom. That doesn't make any sense. Because he was found in the trunk. He wasn't stepping anywhere. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe?
Well, the picture, right?
The problem lies in the footprint.
The footprint.
Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime.
There's not even any blood on the floor.
That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort.
Yeah, let me bring in all the cops who were there.
Order! Well, witness!
What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright. But it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh.
That's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright. Think.
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at fighting contradictions.
What?
I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony.
What are you talking about?
Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect.
Yeah, they were running around and shit. But her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Yeah. She would have been running around. There's no blood anywhere.
I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do.
No kidding.
Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty?
Oh, that?
I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the Lunchbox factory.
Witness! Well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason?
Aha! You don't mean...
Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the blood stains that would become evidence against her. Gah!
That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence.
That reminds me, Miss Sky's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him?
So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe?
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please!
What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it.
But...
Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor.
Very well.
But Angel Star's on the prosecution side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
Little girl. What did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you just say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are, demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence.
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else.
The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court.
Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this!
A photograph.
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Wait, why is there a handkerchief? Why is there a handkerchief in the...
Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
Oh. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia.
Right. Wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself off the asphalt. Take another look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end.
And this is the last piece of evidence.
Very well, this time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Your Honor, wait.
What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore?
That's what I'm saying. What is it with you people?
Whatever it is, can it wait?
No, it can't. Then it'll be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration.
Yeah, duh. Fucking Phoenix, just like, oh well, I guess I'm done. Phoenix is such a goober. Like, he's so dogged, and then arbitrarily another thing happens, and he's like, I'm tired. I'll go to sleep now.
So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence?
Yeah,
I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this.
There theoretically might be.
I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. To the court, the problem in this photograph.
Well, why is his shoe off? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Well, there's the knife. I think it's this. Yeah, I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't save. Now that I'm in this, it says no. Oh well. I think it's this. Is here. Okay, so that was. Wait, the music stopped. What's that? What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth.
Your Honor?
You just said muffler.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's the muffler.
I see no traces of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph.
A muffler is also a part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as a part of the exhaust system, a pipe.
Oh, I see, man. I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sorry, Miss Star, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony.
What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. That's why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case.
The picture. Right? Or what she said? Her record isn't. Well, it's because she said muffler over and over.
Well, Your Honor, how do you feel about that?
Actually, I don't feel well at all. I have this pounding headache.
No, I meant, what do you think about the...
I'm afraid the reason for that headache is you, Mr. Wright.
Oh no!
Car's muffler, right? Muffler.
What? She's not wearing the muffler in the picture. That's the whole. Oh. The word muffler. Well, I guess that's more related. It's fine. We got a really good line out of it. Because I have this pounding headache, and it's you, son of a bitch.
Recall your testimony for the court.
Blah, blah, the muffler.
Muffler. Ah! Oh!
Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence.
That's what she did. She did the thing from the place, from the video game, the Phantom Pain. She went. Look at me, Phoenix. Look at me. Look at me.
Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
Yeah. Sus. She said it. I also thought that. I was like, why is she saying sus?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth.
The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed! I suppose so.
Whoa, that was close.
But we made it, at least for now.
This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all.
He's still hungry?
Wah wah. Yay! I did it! I did it, you guys! I solved the mystery. Yeah, let's save that shit. And I think my cough's going down. That's good. The allergy medicine is finally starting to circulate. This is a net win for me. Mr. Wright?
Huh? What?
Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake, about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there?
Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So, what happened to your sister anyway?
Apparently, she got called off to the judge's chambers.
Probably something to do with that piece of cloth.
So, this is where we turn the trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth.
I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth.
Hola, partner. That's my favorite character. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's why they told me when I was a youngin', at least.
Officer Marshall.
I thought I'd come and take a look-see how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They got a home ranch locked down tighter. They got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That's hard to
Not hard to slip out of, huh? What's going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen these last 2 days have really been on edge.
Don't you get enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worried about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example.
Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf.
Yeah, don't say. That just beat all. I seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day too. She was wearing a red muffler
What?
at the awards ceremony that afternoon. Edgeworth seen it too, I reckon.
What does that mean? What does anything this guy says mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf.
So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken.
Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell.
I have a bad feeling about this.
So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright?
If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Huh? Hi. I love his country noises. I love his hoots and hollers. Because I love hoots and hollers, god damn it. I have to say. I'd like to resume.
What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution.
What?
Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, and you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused, you're doubled over, your back is bent. It can't be. This can't happen!
I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth.
Well then, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable! It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
What? What's with this guy? The strange, stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. Who the fuck is this?
Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in.
Who on earth is he? What's with his tie?
Max! It's you!
Who's you? Oh, sorry I'm late, Edgy. The roads were packed. It's just me. Long time no see, Edgy. How you been? Swim much these days?
Hello. No, I've been so busy.
Busy, schmizzy, Edgy, my boy. You have to make time to relax. I'm reusing this voice. I'm reusing the voice I used for Mr. White because it's funny and it's a good voice, damn it. And I can't think of a good voice for a giant man.
All right, I can do my
What's his name?
You're back.
It's Richard Epcar, right?
I could do my Richard Epcar, which is pretty close to my Patrick Warburton.
He even looks like Gilgamesh a little bit. Pudgy seems to be his nickname for the judge.
I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you?
So you're Righto, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son.
Thanks.
So sorry about our little worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly.
Little worthy.
Mr. Wright, you don't know the district chief of police?
Chief of police?
He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district.
I don't like the way he looks at people. I don't like the way he looks at me, like directly in the face.
Name's Gan. Damon Gan. Pleased to meet you, everyone. Hey.
Just wants to turn into this voice, because it's so much fun.
So, what do you owe this honor to today?
Yeah, this guy loves it.
It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it?
Well, it's worthy here. Look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help him out by bringing this. Quick cough, sorry.
Hey, that's my sister's muffler.
So Miss Star wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But she wasn't though in that picture. But it wasn't red. It was like white. Even in a black and white photo, you can tell that. Whatever. Whatever.
But to think it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. On little Worthy's car, no less. His voice makes me have to yawn. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this.
Chief, what kind of outfit are you running?
Mr. Edgeworth!
How could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job?
Now wait a minute, Worthy.
I've no desire to hear your excuses.
I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document, where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature is there. Miles Edgeworth.
That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had...
You're head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology.
What? Are you serious?
Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made.
This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words.
This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth.
God.
The court accepts this new evidence, but I'd like to ask the defense a favor first.
Yes?
Just to be sure, I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife.
The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not.
Could you open it up for me, I wonder?
Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and...
If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore.
Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point it at people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Oh, they're doing it for me. You could have gone backwards once. All right. Let's get this business done. Ah, don't scare me like that. I'm the one who's scared. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? Okay.
This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself.
I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police and this knife?
Ah, sure. Sure thing. Not a problem. Not even a little one, really. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department, see? What a mess. The time of the crime? 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it.
There was a murder at the police department? A detective?
That's hush-hush information, Hutchie. We haven't exactly announced it yet.
Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time the Detective Goodwin was killed at the prosecutor's office.
Order! Order!
Anyway, we at the department were all flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay?
I think we understand the police department's situation. Well, Mr. Wright,
2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. The chances of that are really slim. Scientifically speaking, of course. Mathematically speaking, actually. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness.
very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand.
All right.
Just press everything. Excuse me. Special?
Hard to come by this particular knife anywhere else.
Might that special thing be this little tag?
Ah, sorry, Righto, but I can't say that now. Not that.
We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. Now, why was there another knife at the scene of the crime?
That's quite a mystery.
And like a mystery, it's wrapped up in something. A muffler. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and
This knife was found on the scene of our crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you?
See, there's a lot of things that go on at the department that I can't explain. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, Righto.
Maybe there's something about the knife that will give us a clue? Let's examine that knife while we can. Righto. Evidence that links this knife to Detective Goodman. Well, I mean... it's obvious which one. It's the note. So, how were things down at the department? Obviously, I don't need to present it yet, but... something happened at the police department too, huh?
You got a good look in your eyes there, Righto, my boy. Sharp. Hungry.
So, something did happen, and why wasn't I informed?
Why weren't you informed? Well, why didn't you ask? No matter. I understand. You were busy. What with Lana's case and all.
Well, what happened? What happened at the police department that day? On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department?
That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Udgy?
I'm at a loss for words.
And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect?
Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact.
Just arrested? That was quick.
But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto.
I suppose I could help, if you help me by giving me data on your case.
Ah, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only.
Well, we already know how the victim was killed and when the victim died. Or we need to know how the victim was killed. These are all questions we already know the answer to. This is stupid. Yeah, I guess that must have been what he was trying to... what the message was. I wasn't sure. How was the victim killed? Well, how was the detective killed?
How was he killed? Now that's the interesting part. It was what we in the force call a stabbing with a knife.
A knife? That's exactly the same as Detective Goodman.
Because of the giant stab wound? Yeah, exactly.
That's the spirit. We're cooking now. But you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same.
What do you mean?
There were more similarities between the two cases than the cause of death. You're back.
Seems like I'm gonna have to press this a bit harder. Yeah. 5:15? But that's when Detective Goodman was killed in the prosecutor's office.
What?
Funny, isn't it?
Funny man.
A murder at the prosecutor's place, and a murder at our place at the very same time. What are the chances? Ah, you're back.
Hey, thanks for the follower, pal. And it's not updating. Well, good. Thank you, OBS. Very nice. Whatever. I'll fix it later. I fucking try to put this thing up there and it just goes to shit on me.
Coincidence?
This is just my gut feeling, but I'd say there's a 0.001% chance of that happening.
Chief Gant, please tell us more about the incident.
Yeah, today I'm trying to get through the whole rest of this game. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going at least for 4 hours. I'm willing to go up to like 8 because I don't think there's more than 8 hours of game left.
How can you say there's no connection?
How? Because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything I please, Righto. You understand.
Try to understand, Wright-o.
Well, if you can prove there is a connection, more power to you. Maybe there is something that ties the two murders together,
Whatever it is, I'd better find it and get to the bottom of this. 2 detectives were killed at 5:15. One at the prosecutor's office and one at the police department. That can't be a coincidence.
And that knife, what was it doing there?
I'd better check this knife out.
It's good, the best in the game. Let me see. I'm gonna try it right now. Excuse me while I just click on this and... Yeah, okay. There we go. Woo woo. Road to affiliate, baby. Tell everybody I'm on my way. Well, let's look at the knife again first, because that's the same. It's that 6-7S or SL9. But let's look at the knife first. Let's make sure it's got this kind of smudge, the smudgeness. Clearly not important. There's a small tag on the knife.
It says SL9 too.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm not sure, but it reminds me of a similar code. DL6. Maybe it's a case number.
That's weird.
What?
I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. Something similar to what's written on the tag. It wasn't that long ago either.
Maybe I should check the court record again.
Cool. Good. Well, I don't know if I had to do that first or not. That means that's 221. He just wrote it upside down.
Wait a second.
Oop, wrong button. Derp, derp.
Ah, at last. An honest to goodness objection.
This knife, this has to have something to do with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? And honest to goodness, what do you mean from Mudgy? This is great!
Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92.
And this is important. Why?
Over here, we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim.
What's this? 6 minus 7s 12 2.
Your Honor, it's upside down.
Upside.
The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down.
SO9. That's the same thing that's written on the knife's tag. Oh my. Order. Well, Chief.
Well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Righto.
I win? What game is this guy playing?
This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. That was a bad day for the department. Well...
So this knife was stolen.
Yes, but on the day of the murder.
It was evidence, you say. Was it in fact a murder weapon?
Nice. Good show, little worthy. It was a murder weapon, as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved.
So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder, and it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. What it is, though? How can you say there's no connection? What? But I already did that. Sorry, I had to cough. So, let's see. Yeah. We already checked the knife out. So do I give it... Bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Do I just press stuff again? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the evidence room. Yeah. I don't know. Let me get a... I need to figure out what the hell is everyone's happening. Everything's talking. Yes, I don't know. Just arrested him. Just arrested. Oh, I can do this again. Just, sure. Where was the victim found, I guess? Because we know when the victim died, 5:15, so this is the only thing we have left not to know. That's stupid.
Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department.
The evidence room? Wait a second. I have heard of that. The evidence room? Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now?
Knife was evidence in the case. The part,
Yeah. There's the connection between the two cases. Yeah. Happy we just got handed our ticket to go to town on. We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With the link between the two cases established, we can finally have some leverage. Now we can get Grant to testify about the details. Yeah, what press? Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. Yeah. Okay, good. We're all on the same page now.
hey, you don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection?
Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright.
The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. A knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. I don't know why that's important, but sure.
There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence.
You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here.
Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department.
See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all.
Can we get the information unofficially?
Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all.
What, really? Who would have guessed?
I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay?
If you're gonna tell us a little, why not tell us everything?
Well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly.
Well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. The victim's ID number. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number?
Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. You're back.
I can't get over that.
You're back.
Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all.
Keep a tight lid on our ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 584-2189.
Well, that's quite long.
And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts.
I can't do it.
You didn't even get the first number right.
Did this tell you anything?
The ID number of the victim at the police department. I mean, that is our guy's ID number, right? Let's look at it. I could just look. Yeah, it's the same. It was this guy. What the hell? That tells me something. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does, I think.
Meaning?
It has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean?
Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something. What does it tell you?
Tells me that this is some bullshit. Witness.
What is it, Mr. Wright?
You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. And the prom's tomorrow.
No, I got confused. And this is news. What? Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing like you always do. The police department, the prosecutor's office. 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. But it's the same detective. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here.
Yeah, well, I don't know why he's confused. This is Wright. Well, I don't know why we went through all that hemming and hawing about it. All that bullshit that we just got right here. And I'm starting to get upset. Some of accent's taking over.
Oh boy.
Was it yours?
No, Your Honor. I'm a defense attorney. Remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman.
Shame on you, Righto. Personal IDs are top secret.
Detective Goodman's ID number is 584-2189.
And this means, what exactly?
Huh?
Wait, that ID number we heard from the chief earlier. That started with 82. I've forgotten.
You didn't even get the first number right again.
To be fair, if you get the number wrong the first time, your brain's probably gonna be like, yeah, that's the number now. That's the number in your brain. Thank you, brain. Very helpful.
The number of the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, Wright. What does this mean? That's what I wanted to know. The 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that?
Sharp as a tack, Righto. Sharp as a tack.
But wait! Detective Goodman is our victim! He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot.
Yet a Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department, in the evidence room, at the exact same time. But that's impossible. So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time, and in a completely different location.
Order! Chief, what does this mean?
No. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine. But I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case.
Now, wait just a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered.
Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case.
Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight. The grave error. Mr. Edgeworth. They're yours. Yeah, you were totally right.
What? How dare?
We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news.
Officer Meekins?
Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, aha!
Oh. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises?
No, I already did Shaggy. I need to do hey, Morty. I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir.
Meekins, we gotta give Edgeworth that report, Meekins. You don't mean him.
According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe.
But your officer, he told me. He said the report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident.
Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report.
God! Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged.
Jeez, that's a little rough. In any case, this is a serious error, a gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy.
But sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then
No such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say, unworthy.
Damn.
What?
Now, what was the second rule of evidence law?
Well, Mr. Wright?
Huh? Oh, well, it's, Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant?
Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in court before the trial. And this report wasn't on that list.
So, what does this mean?
I couldn't submit this as evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Wright over there. Good job, Wright, my boy.
Huh? I was just doing my job.
No. No!
It seems we have come to the end of this trial.
I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy. What with all those rumors? You were even just in the defendant's chair this past December.
I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Please, just give me one more day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened, if it's the last thing I do.
You'd better get results this time. Really.
You have my profound apologies, sir.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth.
I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Would that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Whatever your punishment is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Whew. Very well, the court is adjourned.
To be continued. This looks like a great place to split the recording. Ba 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 ba.